Good morning, everybody. I'm Paul Lisnick.
Good morning. I'm Timon Bradley. This is WGN-TV Political Report.
Governor Pritzker, if you hear us, open the state immediately.
As the state stares down another 28 days at home, restless Illinois residents are taking to the streets to show their frustration. Protesters surround the Thompson Center downtown and the state capitol in Springfield this week. Many saying the shutdown has not only halted the economy, but put their own civil liberties at risk.
And this comes the same week that Governor Pritzker faced an onslaught of legal challenges to his extended emergency order.
I want, as much as everybody else does, for everybody to get back to work and for us to move toward normalcy. But I also want to say that I'm not going to do it until we know people are safe, and it isn't going to be because some protester has a sign that says, you know, liberate Illinois.
2 state representatives and a church all filed suit this week. The governor adding a last-minute exemption to the emergency order, allowing some religious practice under the CDC guidelines. Still, one ongoing suit claims the governor has created a police state and overstepped his executive authority. The plaintiff, Republican State Representative John Cabello, also wants the legislature to weigh in on decisions during the pandemic. But the governor says it's up to legislative leaders to decide how and when that will happen. Representative John Cabello joins us this morning to talk about what's next. Thank you for joining us via the internet. The governor says, Representative, that you are grandstanding, playing politics, putting people's lives at risk. He also calls your lawsuit irresponsible. What's your response?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me. There's a few things going on here. So number one, if this was grandstanding or if this was a political stunt, I would have immediately filed for the temporary restraining order, which I have not done. We're trying to give the governor the opportunity of doing the right thing. If he talks about this being irresponsible, I would throw that back on him and say, Governor, you're the one that released 64 murderers. You unleashed them upon the taxpaying public early, and you didn't even have the common decency to tell the victims' families, which is against the law.
So, Congressman, I understand what you're saying, and you're not looking for the TRO. You're looking for the legislature to come back and do its job. But, of course, there's also been word that basically says to get the legislature back, you got all those representatives, staff members, building people, all of that. It creates a dangerous situation. So, even to take the steps you want, aren't we taking a risk by doing that when you still see the numbers of infections and deaths are still pretty significant?
Well, right now, we don't need staffers. We don't need a staffer to come with us. I don't need anybody holding my hand. I don't know why anybody else would either. There's different places that we could meet. There's different ways that other states are doing this. The federal government has done this. Well, I think we can find a way.
Representative, you of course represent Winnebago County, a region that has had one of the highest rises so far in new COVID-19 cases. White House guidelines says that there needs to be a downward trajectory of documented cases within a 14-day period before a community can begin to reopen. Why can't you, Representative, wait another month just to see what the situation is?
Well, right now, the only reason why our numbers are going up is because they're actually finally testing people here. Last I knew, we had 426 cases out of 288,000 people. So they're finally testing almost 500 people a day now. So that's the reason why you're seeing the numbers increase. We've had probably 14 deaths, which are horrible. But out of those deaths, many of these people were in a nursing home on hospice with weeks to live. So they're adding these people into a mix in numbers, which I don't think they need to.
Representative, you basically want the governor and the legislature to do their job and do it the right way. My question is, if they do come back and you go back to Springfield, you know, there's supermajorities for the Democrats, so they might very well just, you know, acknowledge and give the governor the power he's looking for. Would that be okay with you if it's done that proper way?
Look, we all took oaths to uphold the Constitution of the state of Illinois. And that's what I'm trying to do with this lawsuit. If that's what the legislature wants to do, then yes, I am looking all towards that. But we have lots of people that can't put food on their table. They filed for unemployment weeks ago and they haven't received a check. And then you're telling them, if you need to go feed your family and fish, you can only have 2 people in a boat. It's okay for you to put your whole family in a car and drive that boat to a boat launch, but then you can only have 2 people in the boat. There's a lot of things that we're trying to do that are common sense solutions to keep everybody safe as well, but there's a lot of things that need to change.
So just to be clear, if the General Assembly meets and votes to approve an extension of the stay-at-home order, will you drop your lawsuit?
Well, right now, my lawsuit's not even going to be heard as of right now until August. Again, I'm not trying to force anything here. What I'm trying to do is, number one, make sure that we uphold the Constitution. Number two, if the General Assembly meets and then does what they, there's co-equal branches of government, we need to make sure that that's in place. If that's what they vote, then yes, I will abide by that, and I don't think that we need to go any further. But at least now we're starting to do some things constitutionally.
If businesses do open up and some workers are just afraid to return, they're concerned about their own safety, Representative, what's your thought about, should they lose their unemployment benefits and such if they're afraid to go back even though they could?
No, I mean, there's things that I think that we can sit down and work out. But guess what? We're not sitting down to work it out. There's only one person telling us how everything's going to work. And that's not the way government's supposed to be. And, there are some things that we want to do. I, for one, don't want to lose all of my constitutional rights. I'm sure there's a lot of people around the state that want to do that don't want to do that either.
State Representative John Cabello, thanks for joining us this morning, a Bears fan. Good to talk with you.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
You as well. We're going to take our first break. Coming up next on WGN-TV Political Report, with the next stimulus package at stake, Democrats on Capitol Hill push for more oversight on how federal funds are spent. We're talking to Congressman Bill Foster next.
And still to come, with some retail restrictions lifted under the new stay-at-home order, will the city be able to recoup lost